Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to my live stream. It's been a minute since I've done a live. We've had a lot of things going on around here. But I'm here and I thought we'd get catched up on everything that's been going on. Excuse me. I don't know about y'all. My allergies have been kind of kicking my butt lately. I don't know what's in the air, if it's just dry. Hey, Paul, and there is Teresa from Stringfield Ridge. Whew. Keith and I went to the grocery store this morning, and um, he would pick stuff up, and he said, "No, that's too expensive." And it was like everything was like that. And I said, "You're going to have to get used to it because I think we're just getting started on the price hikes." Down here, or yeah, over here, up here. I guess we're up here now, aren't we? In Texas, North Texas, we have it. It's just been crazy. I mean, my headset's a little off centered. Um, can y'all hear me? Okay, I've got the air conditioner on, so let me know if y'all can. Hey, Central Texas, Mike and Rochelle, how are you guys doing? Is it hot in y'all's neck of the wood too? Yesterday we were under a extreme heat warning in June. Those are things you usually see like in August. So, all right, great. Thank you. It yesterday, I think it got up to a hey Kendra, she's at work today, but she's in laundry. So, hey Rebecca, how are you doing, hun? It's so good to see everybody. I've missed you guys. It it's been crazy. Just all the stuff. As some of y'all know, I struggle with kidney stones. Well, I did when we were in Conroe because the water was so heavy in calcium and minerals. Well, I've had one that's just been floating since we left Conroe. Well, yeah, what was it? Monday? No, today's Monday. I guess it's Friday. It was Friday. It finally passed. So that was not fun, but it did pass, and I didn't have to have another Lipsotripsy done. So that was really, really nice. But we have been dealing with extreme heat. My poor little garden, and I didn't have much this year. I just wanted to, grow some tomatoes and herbs and that kind of stuff. It has just, my peppers are doing okay, but peppers like the heat. Um, I've got a few tomatoes out there that are ripening, but I don't have any more blooms. So it's probably until the fall. Um, yeah, it is. It's crazy. We went from, extreme cold to extreme heat. There was no spring. We were getting down in the 20s, in early spring, mid spring, and then it just was hot. And so it's been really hard. I think this year I've learned a lot though about where I need to put stuff. Um, I need to be able to. I'm going to put stuff on the uh, east side of the house next year instead of having it more in the north side of the house because it gets way too much sun, and hopefully it will do a lot better. Absolutely, climate change is real. Whether you believe that it's, man made or it's just a natural cycle that the earth is going through, it is a very real thing. And I think that's something we need to um, pay attention to and be very aware of because it's not just that, we're struggling growing our own gardens, but also, you know, big farms are struggling to grow food as well, which is going to make it difficult in the grocery stores. Hey, Lippy. Did I see y'all? Um, Good to see you guys. I'm putting up a lot of food still. I'm going to be doing a lot of money saving recipes coming. I put out a salsa video that was extremely easy to make and extremely inexpensive to make. If you haven't seen that, please go check that video out. It's a short video, but it's very easy. And I'm going to be focusing a lot on those type of recipes simply because what you buy at the grocery store. We spent $70 today and didn't get much of nothing. I mean, it was quite ridiculous, to be completely honest with you. But that's some of the things that we're doing here just to try to kind of get through. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that. We I love simple and I love semi homemade stuff. If you can make things from scratch, that's great. But my tomato plants kind of suck this year, and so you have do what you can to improvise. I've got some tin cans, size tin cans of tomato sauce and diced tomatoes. I'm going to be making tomato sauce with and just trying to stock up that pantry as much as I can. There there is rumors running around that by July food is going to be scarce again. So I think anything you can do, or it's going to be so expensive you can't afford it. Um, because our gas is knocking on the door $5 a gallon here, and I'm sure it is everywhere. And we filled up this month, and it's taken us $100, and we have used most of that. So for the rest of the month, we're not going to be going anywhere. I mean, fortunately, we don't work outside the home and we can stay home and not have to spend the gas money. But my son, you know, he's struggling to get to work because he can't afford to put gas in his car. And it's too dang hot to walk. So what do you do? And I think it's important that we pay attention to these things. Eggs are going through the roof. I am so stinking grateful. I have my three hens and a rooster. That way that we can get a few eggs because we are not going to be able to afford to get eggs. One of the tips I can recommend to y'all, if you know people who have chickens, buy local. We went to Wichita the other day when I was having the kidney stone issue, and there was a sign out in front of these people's place that says fresh eggs for $3 a dozen. That's going to be cheap, and it already is cheap. You know, I'm sure it is, Kendra. My daughter's having to walk to work at school. And it's 100 degrees down there by the coast. That's not normal for them. Now the humidity would be over, 100, but the um oh wow, Paul, yeah. It's here it's like $5. It's knocking on the door $5 a gallon, and they're saying by the end of summer it might be 8 or 9, $10 a gallon. Yeah, it was a 109 here. And it was just trying to give my chickens little treats to keep them, cold things to keep them hydrated. And they like cantaloupe, they like watermelon, they like grapes. They go crazy over grapes just to keep them healthy, keep their water fresh and cooled down. And it's it's scary to me. My nephews were in this weekend God, they're sweet little boys. I just adore my nephews. My brother and them are doing a great job raising them. Yeah, I don't blame you, Teresa. Um, fortunately, we don't have to, other than go into the grocery store, we don't. Yeah, in the electric cars, I will say this about electric cars. If you live in an urban area, that's great because there are charging stations everywhere. If you live in a rural area, the closest charging stations we have are an hour away. And I know they can put them in your house and that kind of stuff, but to me, that would just raise our electric bill to it being unaffordable to do too. Like I said, if you live in an urban area, I think it would be a very economical and great to look at electric vehicles. Another problem with I feel with the electric vehicles is our power grid. Our power grid is already trash. We all know that. Now you add all those cars on top of it charging. What's that going to do, for the electric? I would love solar too, but it's just not in the budget. It is absolutely not in the budget here to do. Yeah, exactly, Teresa. And we've already lost power once this year because of the heat. And of course, they're telling everybody, well, turn the air up, 78 degrees and all this stuff. Well, we have window units. Um, but if I turned the air up to 78 degrees, we wouldn't be able to breathe in this house. Those little air conditioners couldn't keep up and it would just be miserable. And I worry about elderly folks who do turn their ACs way up, and with this kind of heat, you go out in the heat, you need to be able to cool your body down, you know. I'm just it worries me. It really does. And yeah, I don't know exactly how much. I know the to converting it to solar cost a lot. The stuff to do that. The other problem we're having is a lithium battery shortage here in the States. I don't know if it's where you guys are at, Dutch, but so to store any of that power or even the electric cars for the lithium batteries are way behind. Um, it's Kendra just said it's 88 here with a feel like of 90. It is. I'll tell you what it is here. Get my phone up. Um, let's see. It is 96 here with a feel like no, it's 97 here with a feel like of 98. So, oh, I'm sure, Kendra. So I don't know what people are going to do. I think it's very important. One of the things that we are going to be investing in is a solar fan. So if the power goes out, we at least have a fan to try to keep us alive. Because with you get into extreme heat like this, it doesn't take long for it to have that kind of a horrible toll on your body. I'll look those up, Paul, and see if they have them here. Um, yeah, it. I know most of our electric cars and chargers and um, can are all go on lithium batteries. and those all come from China, so it's just crazy. It is a crazy situation. Um, what I want to know is what are some of the okay, I will look into them. What are some of the things I know Paul has talked about going? He's doing solar and looking at electric cars. What are some of the things you guys are doing locally to stay cool if you're like the entire country right now and just dying of heat? And what are you doing to um, conserve your food? I mean, you know, I know Americans, we tend to eat way too much, right? Our portion sizes are huge, and that's why we are the fattest country in the world. Literally, we are the fattest country in the world because we have forgotten what normal portion sizes are. And I think that's something that people are going to have to start doing is eating less. Um, Another thing I'm noticing, and I want to show a hand, who have noticed that fresh food that you buy in the grocery stores is not lasting and is going bad really quickly. We bought some bananas um, at Sam's, and you know how when bananas start ripening, they get sweeter and they make great banana bread. Hey, Suze, welcome in. Hands going over the absolutely. We've got fans going as well. I've got one up here. There's one in every room. I mean, my granddad believed in his ceiling fans, so we do too. We run the fans constantly, and then our our big air conditioner is in the living room, and I've got a little fan that blows cold air from the living room into the rest of the dining room and kitchen to help trying to alleviate some of that. Yeah, I hear you, Mike. We have stashed up food too, and I'm stashing up more. I've bought quite a bit of freeze dried food. No carpet. I don't know why, but there is carpet in every inch of this house besides one hallway. Or our only hallway is linoleum. And my grandfather was a linoleum layer. I have no idea. There is carpet in the kitchen. I mean, why would anybody put carpet in their kitchen? They don't. I mean, I was talking about the bananas. We got some bananas that, you know, they were ripening, and a lot of times they're still good, right? Even when they're kind of mushy, that's what you make banana bread out of and different stuff. Well, we had one and it didn't even look that ripe that we opened up last night, and it was awful. It was like soured, um, or fermented or something. I don't even know how to describe it. It had kind of a fermented taste to it. I don't know what was wrong with that banana, but it was not that old. Bread doesn't last. Most of the bread that I've bought lately in the store is already half stale. Exactly. That's what I normally do. But this you would have not wanted to make bread out of. It was horrible tasting. I don't know what was wrong with it, but I didn't even put it in the compost. I just threw it away because there's something wrong with this banana. I hear you, Dutch. I'm working on my coffee too. I am still drinking a ton of water, but this is only cup two for the day, and then I'll go to water for the rest of the day. But We are just trying to be smart about what we spend money on, how we prepare things. Um, you know, I'm going to be doing a dirty rice recipe. It is a real easy recipe to make, and it's something that you can make very cheaply. I've got rice stored up since COVID. Hey, Christy, good to see you, hun. I've got rice stored up since COVID. Beans, um, in the window. I have done that. I have done that. Right now, it's not even getting cool enough to just put the windows open. It's just ridiculously hot. Excuse me, here right now. Some of the other stuff I want to put together to can is just, hey, Drop, how are you doing? Absolutely, Drop. We've got beans going. Okay, I absolutely will. Me too. I've got tons of beans and rice, and I did a video. If one of my mods can go find it or have and can go get it, I did a red bean canning red beans and sausage for red beans and rice and sausage that was really good. I need to get some more made up because it worked beautifully and it was just a dump and go. I don't think Kendra was crazy about it, but or was it you didn't like the chili, right, Kendra? You liked the I don't remember. She can tell us what she liked and didn't like. But yeah, we did too. We used window units. We didn't usually turn the AC on until mid to late June here. We just didn't. It's just hotter now. It wasn't 109 degrees in June when I was a kid. Okay, that's why I thought it was the chili you didn't like. But it was red beans and sausage that I canned up. And I know they say don't can smoked meat and all that stuff. It worked just fine. I had no problems with it. I'm not recommending it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you, for us, it worked just fine. And I've got the stuff to do another batch of that. And it's quick and easy to do. And then you make that up and then make some rice up, dump it in because that's the other thing that I'm going to be talking about in upcoming videos, is because it is so hot. The last thing you want to do is heat your kitchen up. We are using the pressure cookers and the Instant Pots a lot lately because in the air fryer because it does not heat the house up. Just trying to Yeah, you live up north though, right, Drop? Because down here it's hot. It is hot. Hey, blind guy and his wife, good to see you. So, beans, can your beans. Didn't have plenty of beans in storage. Rice is a great commodity. Sugar. Um, we went and got more sugar. Our plums are almost ready to start making jelly with. And we'll be making a lot. I've just made a batch of apple butter. I made a batch of pear honey, and we're fixing to be in plum season. We've got 2 plum trees, and they are loaded. My dad went out and looked at them and said, we're going to have a ton of plums. So we're going to get ready to be able to make a lot of plum preserves, jellies, jams, all the stuff plum. Um, make all that stuff. I mean, find local farmer markets. I know Teresa and them are close to the Amish, and I'm curious to know, is the Amish stuff still a lot cheaper than what you find in the grocery store, Teresa? As far as I know, we don't have a lot of Amish or Mennonites in our area. I wish we did. Kendra, save me some jelly. I will definitely. We're gonna have plenty, girlfriend. You live in Iowa. If you have resources like the Amish stores or Amish fruit stands and all that stuff, absolutely take advantage of it. Look into. I absolutely will. I will definitely look into that, Suze. Um, yeah, outside stove to canyon. I've got that little Power XL canner that I use. They don't make them anymore, apparently. So, but I'm glad I've got mine because I have got. It's a little. It's wasn't my choice to buy this, but it's a glass top stove, and I can water bath can with it and do, but you're not. It doesn't have a consistent heat. Like it gets hot, then it cools off, gets hot, so you can't pressure can on that thing. I do have a confection, if I never say it right, affection burner. Somebody, Keith, correct me if I'm saying that wrong. That I can on because it stays a consistent heat. So I'm going to be utilizing that a lot as well. We have a grill smoker. The thing with our grill smoker though is charcoal and stuff like that. Oh, I feel you. Convection. Thank you. Yeah, I wish we still had propane. But this is an old house. This house is like 80 years old. So, because it was Granddad put the house 50 years ago, and it was probably 20 years old when they got it. They didn't buy it new. So, they turned the propane off a lot because there was just getting to be a lot of problems with it. And then when my grandparents were getting elderly, they were scared to death that they were going to leave the pilot on or something and kill themselves with the propane. So they induction burner. Thank you, Mike. Good Lord. Oh, words were failing me. So anyway, those are definitely some of the things I am going to be trying to put out and share with you guys. I want to show y'all. I don't know if y'all seen these or not. These are very old. You can kind of tell on the how faded and stuff these recipes are. These recipes came from my great great and probably great 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 grandparents and relatives. So I'm going to be doing a lot of these recipes as well because I think we're going to need them. Um, Other things to stock up on, I would say, is powdered milk because, and I've got some stored. I want to get some more because it's milk. Unless you have a cow or a goat, milk is going to get absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely, Teresa. I'm so glad to hear that for you guys. It is just I don't know if anybody's gardens around here is doing super well. Um in our area, the main thing that is farm wise that is grown is hay. I know there are some local farms in the area. Well, probably within 30 minutes of us that grow um, food like that, but it's mainly cattle and hay. The first harvest has happened. I've driving, into town. I was noticing there was a lot of bales of hay. So I think a lot of people around here do animals and just grow grass. The guy when I was a kid that he grew watermelons, and he had the best. He grew the orange and the yellow watermelons, and man, they were just phenomenal. He has gotten out of the watermelon business because, one, because of the hogs, and I think that's a lot of it too. We've got a serious hog problem around here. When it cools off this winter, I plan to get me some hogs and get them in the freezer. I mean, because I don't even think you have to have a hunting license to get hogs. They're just because they're such a problem in this area. So that's some of the things this year. I am going to get my hunting license because I hope to get a deer or five. I can't get that many, but you know what I'm saying. I definitely plan to get some meat in the freezers this winter. Dad and I are gonna do some hunting, I think. I'm even gonna take Keith hunting. I don't think he has ever been hunting, so it'll be a new thing for him. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for years now, we have in the homesteading community, we have been talking about being called back to the land, right? We've all just had this urge to get back on land and do something with that land, not just build a big house on it and, oh, I live in the country, but don't do anything with the country life. There's a lot of us that have been called back to that homesteading um, life. And I think it was getting us. Oh, I hear you drop, and we'll definitely be using live traps. Hey, our treasured home, how are you doing, hun? I think anything like that that you can do is phenomenal. One thing I'd love to do. It scares me right now because the way the heat is, but I would love to get rabbits. Um, but I'm afraid it's just too dang hot for them. I know they make rabbit. Or they make. I know there are rabbits that are good in hot temperatures, but I think it needs a little bit more infrastructure setup than I have right now. But yeah, I'd love to do meat rabbits, but I definitely want to get some of these hogs. Um, the other thing, and I know a lot of people are talking about it, is trying to make money off your homestead. Oh, Mike, you too, hun. It's good to see you, and thank you for your support on my videos. I really appreciate it, friend. Um, so I think anything you can do is going to be beneficial. Um, I I said we're going to be making a lot of jelly. I'm going to be trying to sell as much of that jelly as we possibly can. We're going to have enough to sell and to put up. So that's absolutely what we're going to be doing. If y'all see a lot of videos coming out about, with plums, just know it's because I have an abundance of plums. Oh, sorry, my nose is itching me today. Oh wow, absolutely, Teresa. I've got some ideas. I've y'all see my sewing machine my mom has gifted me. I'm really going to start working on my sewing skills. I've got a couple of ideas that I want to do. I want to, even for to start out for my own chickens, make some chicken saddles and do that. But I want to see getting my Etsy going. Um, I want to learn to my son Jacob. Y'all have seen him in here. He makes mead, homemade mead, and I want to learn how to make alcohol. Plum wine sounds pretty dang good. I don't know about you guys, but That is something that I'm going to be working on learning how to do. Yeah, Teresa, I think we all could, right? And I think it's going to come to that. They talk about the big retirement or the big resign. Everybody started liking working from home. I think more companies now, they were getting where, oh, we want everybody back in the office and all that stuff. But I think companies are going to find they're going to have better luck keeping employees if they keep them at home because people can't afford the gas. Um, I told y'all about my nephews being here this weekend. My brother works for a major bank, and I'll just leave it at that. He's kind of high up in this bank, and it's a big one. All right, and he and I got to have a conversation yesterday afternoon, and it, he told me, and he lives in the city, in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. He said it is not going to get any better anytime soon. They see things that are long term, right? When the bankers are telling you it's going to get really bad before it gets really better. Um, I mean, it's stuff we've been saying as preppers for a while, but to hear somebody that actually is in the money business is, um, okay. I will definitely check that out, Nancy. I have an aunt named Nancy. I've always thought that's a beautiful name. But anyway, when money people are telling you, this wasn't coming from the news. This was my brother saying it's going to get bad, and he fortunately now gets to work 100% of the time at home because his bank understands that the corporate people like that don't have to be in the office. I mean, like tellers, that kind of stuff has to, but the corporate people, they can stay at home, and um it's more economical, and they have a better chance of holding on to their employees by doing that. But yeah, we were talking about it, and he said, you know, we're in a good position out here to be able to survive this. He said people in the city, he said it's going to be really really bad. It's going to be bad on all of us, but people in the city are really going to be hurting a lot. And because prices on everything, rent, if you don't have a six-figure job, I don't know how people afford rent anymore in the city. I just don't. Ridiculous amounts. Even the apartment we lived in has gone up $400, $500 a month since when we lived there. We couldn't afford to have stayed. Yeah, I can't imagine, Teresa. I'm sure that eats y'all's lunch on gas. I have never had moose. I've had buffalo and I've had deer, um, all kinds of fish, but I have never had moose. That's the other thing. I want to get my fishing license and go fishing probably next spring, to be honest, because it's too stinking hot out there right now. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm definitely, well, I'm 48% Scottish. So I've got a lot in Norrish, by the way. Norrish and Scottish. I've got a lot of that Celtic blood in me. What's funny, I told my husband and I were talking about it. I said the reason I got the Norrish is when the Vikings came and raided Scotland. But yeah, my freezer over here. Now it's not a big one. This one, oop, that way. Um, it's I couldn't put anything else out in it if I want. I need to get some of it canned and start getting things fermented. I want to get some sauerkraut. I want a lot of stuff, but Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't doubt that in the least. Just walking through Walmart today. Walmart. I mean, that's a cheapie, right? 95% of that store couldn't have I wouldn't buy it now if I had to, you know? It's just insane the amount, and I know it's just going to get worse because I mean it has to, right? Because if diesel is up, jet fuel is up, engine, all of it, it's got to come out somewhere. And I'm telling y'all right now, and this is not a political statement when I say this because I don't give a crap who's in office. Period. Because I don't think it'd be good with either one of them because none of them care about what we need. But just economically, the gas companies, the oil companies are making a freaking killing right now. They are laughing all the way to the bank. And that has something with that has got to give. And I know enough people in oil and gas that said when those gas prices go up like that, it is good for oil and gas. Now, I know there's a lot of people that work in it. They make a lot of, make a good living at it. But and it's not even the people who work in it that's making the money so much as it is the executives that are making a killing. And because they can. They can't. I don't think it has a darn thing to do with Russia. We got what, 1% of our oil from Russia? There's enough oil in Texas. They need to get our refineries back online and get us producing our own oil again. That's just as simple as it goes. We've got wind farms all around us going up. I like the wind farms. I think they're great because there's always wind. That's besides putting the material together, the wind's a free commodity. So anyway, I really think that we just need to find out what our priorities are. People, that's the other thing. Yeah, people need to prioritize because as long as you're still out there, and I'm not talking about for necessities, but I'm talking about frivolous stuff that people are spending money on because they keep saying, well, people are still buying clothes, they're still buying TVs, they're still buying all this extra, spending money on it. And as long as you're willing to pay those high prices, they have zero incentive to bring the prices down. And I think, yeah, well, we're not going to talk about him right now. Yeah, we're not going to talk about Drop. We're not going to talk about him, in my opinion, on that. I'll keep my opinion to myself on that one. But for what we can do, stop buying stuff you don't need. Just stop. I mean, you can live on so much less stuff. And I don't think there's anybody in this room that buys frivolous crap. You know what I mean? But it floors me when they talk about, well, the economy's not, it's doing good. People are still buying clothes and they're still buying, I'm like, unless, look, I'm not going to pull them off my feet and show you. My shoes have holes in them because I refuse to spend the money to buy a new pair of shoes. I don't go anywhere. I'm here on the farm. I don't need any new shoes right now. And I refuse to pay $80 because, all right, let me say, I have to, when I buy shoes, I have to get like New Balance. I have really messed up joints, really messed up feet. So I have to get a little bit of a better shoe, but I refuse to spend that money right now. Refuse. If it is not an absolute need, stop spending money on it. Because if people stop spending money, stop traveling, stop, you know, going all over the country, the these manufacturers and these companies will take notice. But as long as people are willing to spend that money, it's not going to go anywhere. Why would they? That gives them zero incentive. It's not Dutch, but like I said, 95% of the time I'm barefoot around here anywhere. Anyway, I am. I mean, I'm a barefoot girl. So, yeah, me too. Mine are, I've had them for probably 5 or 6 years. And I will spend money on something like that simply because they do last that long. But not right now. It's just not worth it to me to spend the money. You can ask my daughter. I just I don't have a problem with hand me downs. I don't have a problem with resale shops. Goodwill. I don't have to have a sticker on anything oh well that's my grandmother years and years ago worked for Mr. Fine and Haggers. Haggers used to be a big suit brand. I mean, all this stuff. Lee jeans back then were the economy jeans, right? Wrangler, Lee's, those were what the poor people bought. Levi. And she would make the same thing in the same plant. It was just a different sticker on it, different tag. She said, I made it the exact same way as I made the expensive brand versus the cheap brand. And they do that. Groceries, the name brand canned goods, most of the time they're made by the same company that makes the generics are same brand people who make the name brand. So, I don't buy generic. I don't shoot. I have no problem buying generic of anything. There is nothing name brand that I get stuck on. The only thing name brand that a lot of times I get stuck on is I do like Eagle brand milk better than some of the other ones, but I've even stopped doing that. Yeah, I hear you there, Teresa. We're thrifty too. It's still broke. I spent all my extra money on gas. Ah. Oh, absolutely. They are just as good. If not, there are some that I like better. Which we don't have a local HEB, and I miss HEB. There's one about an hour away, but that would be the only reason I'd be going that way is to go to HEB. So it's not very economical. But HEB brands were awesome. Great value from Walmart is fine. You know, I don't very seldom do I ever buy anything name brand. I just don't. But anyway, so be looking for the videos that are coming out. I've got a salad video that I'm going to be making that I think people are really going to like. It's a very easy, kind of inexpensive salad, but so good. That's one of the things I'm eating a lot of salads simply because uh, it don't heat the house up. We're eating a lot of stuff in the Instapot. So, Christy, I will agree with that. I either want to make homemade or I'm Texan, so I like my Miracle Whip. So, I mean, there are certain things you're going to find that you like better for the name brand, but you can save money getting generics other places. So maybe yeah, you could get the little bit extra over here. Yeah, I'm sure, Nancy. That's harder to find. And you have to pay the money for that. My dad drinks the lactate free milk. My daughter drinks the A2 milk because she found out it was. We found out we always thought she was lactose intolerant. It was that A2 protein. So she drinks the A2 milk. Yeah. I tried to make it drop. I I wasn't crazy about it. I know you can make it. Which I just tried it one time and it was okay, but it wasn't. I didn't like it as much as Miracle Whip. Yeah, and see Dukes. I know Dukes is the mayonnaise of the South. It's not Texas, by the way. I think Miracle Whip or what's the other one? Hellman's is the Texas salad dressing and mayo. Dukes to me has too much vinegar in it, but a lot of people in the South love it. So, oh yeah, that's right. You're Kendra's drinking oat milk because she said it's a lot cheaper and she likes it. So, yeah, I'm not paying $7 for any of that. I'll make my own first. Now I like homemade mayonnaise, with an egg. I can't wait to make it with my farm fresh eggs. Guys, I cannot express to you how excited I am about getting my own eggs. Is that what it is? I don't know. It's something in it just doesn't settle right with me, but guess each their own. We are so this week be watching for my videos. I am releasing my videos now right around noon, 1 o'clock on Thursdays. I find that they do a lot better on Thursday than they have been doing on Friday. So be sure and watch for those. I appreciate y'all's support so stinking much. I am working hard on getting this cookbook out to you guys, and it's going to be, let me tell you, this recipe book ain't going to be nothing that you can't find, or grow, or how you get these cookbooks and they call for things that you have never heard of or used in your entire life. My recipe book will not be that way. It'll be practical stuff that everybody enjoys. It's not going to be nothing fancy. It's going to be down home family recipe that you know, my great grandparents and great grandparents made. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Um, yeah, I do too. I mean, I'm like, who eats this? I mean, really. And I hate spending money on a cook. I love cookbooks. Now, don't get me wrong, I got my share of cookbooks, but on stuff that nobody will eat because that's not how they cook. So I am working hard on that one. So y'all be patient with me, and thank you for checking out the videos and stuff. Thank you to my members. Y'all support means more than you can possibly imagine, especially in times like this when everybody's pocketbooks are tight. I appreciate your support more than you ever could imagine. Yeah, handmade, secondhand stuff is awesome. I growing up, I had most of my clothes were homemade. My grandmother, she worked for a sewing factory, for goodness sakes. So did my mom for a time. They're amazing seamstress. I thought I was uh as a kid, all your friends were like, "You're wearing homemade clothes." I'd give anything now to have all the homemade clothes, you know? But you don't realize those things when you're a kid. Yeah, I will definitely give that a try drop. I think that would be really cool. So, well, guys, I'm going to let y'all off here. Thank you so much for joining me. I know these lives have been sporadic. I promise I'm trying to get back in the groove of things. And I hope to get my cousin on here soon. the guest I was telling you about. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate all your help. And just watch my videos and help me get stuff out. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, when we hit 3,000, I've got a really, really, really special prize I'm going to be giving out. I'm steadily growing, and I appreciate that more than you guys have done. Thank you everyone for coming in. It means so much that you are here with me. I appreciate you so much. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time. You find my love you guys.